Alright, this is a group project which will be focusing on conflict management in practice, comparing several articles, books, and a journal in order to teach others the best way to handle uncomfortable situations with honesty and calm reasoning. My name is Natalie Wadge, and my class partner is Sean McLean. This section will focus on Chapter 11 of the textbook, Interplay, the Process of Interpersonal Communication. I am focusing on the win-win 7-step approach to conflict management. The first step to the win-win solution is to define your needs. They suggest you do it alone or with third party. Number 2, share your needs with the other person. 2 guidelines are important when sharing your needs with others. 1, choose a time and place that is suitable for a heart-to-heart talk, and just in case you need to get loud. Use the descriptive I language is the second one. But before you do that, make sure to start a preliminary casual conversation before delving into the harder topics. Number 3, listen to the other person's needs. Number 4, generate possible solutions. Number 5, evaluate the possible solutions and choose the best one. 6, implement the solution. And 7, follow up on the solution. I believe the first 6 steps in the win-win solution are necessary for everyone involved to get what they want from the exercise. I do not believe, however, that step 7 is necessary because it seems too forced. When you and your partner begin to fall into that familiar pattern again, it is more than likely that the subject of fixing the problem will come up naturally in the course of your relationship. This next section will be focusing on resolving conflict, 6 simple steps to keeping the peace by Susan Steinbrecher. There are 3 rules of engagement. Number 1, listen and respond with empathy. Number 2, be involved. Ask the other person's opinions, ideas, and thoughts. And number 3, maintain and affirm self-esteem. There are 6 steps to keeping the peace. Step 1, discuss the situation in a respectful manner. Do not use phrases such as you always or you should. Use language that conveys your feelings while allowing the other person to be open and honest. Step 2, be specific. Give them a specific example that shows you were watching them and notice the odd behavior of said person. Step 3, discuss how a conflict or problem impacts you, the work group, or the project. Remember, you are asking, not telling. Step 4, ask for the specific cause of the conflict. Ask the question, from your perspective, what is happening here? Do not use the word but and emphasize with them again after their response to let them know you heard them. Step 5, ask for the solution. What do you think you need to do to help solve this situation? What is your next step? Number 6, agree on the action to be taken. Close the conversation on a positive note and ask them to get back with you with the results. Aletha Solter, author of Keeping the Peace, Family Meetings for Conflict Resolution, goes one step further. She believes there are 10 steps to having a successful family meeting or group meeting. Have a meeting at a regular time each week. Let everyone take turns being the chairperson and secretary. Begin with appreciations, telling your family that you love them or why you're proud of them. Have a written agenda that family members create between meetings. Use iMessages when describing a problem. Encourage everyone to suggest possible solutions and listen well. Strive for consensus and write down solutions. If a solution is not followed, put the issue on the agenda again. Use meetings for conflicts of needs rather than conflicts of value. And number 9, don't forget to use meetings to discuss fun or neutral topics as well to keep the conversation from getting too serious. All of the authors agree that using the I word when speaking to the other person is more effective than saying things like, you are doing this or you are always doing that. It keeps the other person from feeling as if you are attacking them. Another thing they all agree on are the golden rules of engagement, and that listening to the other person without interrupting them keeps the conversation from stalling.
Okay, this section is based off of a book review. It is titled Interpersonal Conflict and Existential Psychotherapeutic and Practical Model, based off of the book Living Your Own Life. And I was going to go off of the book itself, but the review did a pretty good job clarifying everything. It follows very well with the book on step 3, which is listening, and it quoted, "I had some difficulty bracketing my own bias on the issue of responsibility. Max claimed that his addictive behavior was the result of circumstances beyond his control. If this had been therapy, I might have explored this perspective further." Now, that shows that you should listen to whoever you're communicating with regarding the situation. If you're in therapy, then you know you need it. But if you're just simply talking to someone, you don't know whether or not you need it. So it's a good idea to listen to what the other person is saying. Why should you listen? Listening to the other person that's involved in the conflict is key. If you don't listen, what makes you think they were listening to you? That's a good point. Make sure that you're listening because you want to be heard as well. And also give up your ego, as the reviewer mentioned. Giving up your ego is pretty difficult, but it is something that should be done when you're trying to find a solution to a problem. It's not necessarily giving up everything you stand by, just try to resolve the issue. Don't assume anything. Uh, the quote here is that the facilitator does not add anything that has not been communicated already. To do so would be to impose their own interpretation and may result in obstructing the party's own personal clarification. It could also designate the listener as the expert on a situation that belongs to the speaker. The good comparison with this and the book is have the partner or the other person in the conflict paraphrase what the issue at hand is, what the needs are of the other person. So then if there are any misunderstandings, they can be clarified. So this essentially agrees with that step. Remember, all possible solutions are worthy. The quote here is, may also become exasperated, if not frustrated and angry, at others for failing to actualize a change that they or others or we deem necessary or desirable. This also relates closely to the book. The book states to think of every possible solution. Don't leave any solution out based off of how crazy it sounds, how ridiculous it may seem. Think outside the box with this situation. It's always better to have more options than it is to not have enough. You can always try something else, but if you run out of options, then you're kind of stuck. This is the next, it's an article from a magazine. The next topic, it's how to stay in love during quarantine. I thought it was very fitting. Define your needs. Ask for what you want. Your partner's not a mind reader. Very important one to remember. Be specific. A lot can be left for interpretation. To add, repeat what you have asked for. Share your needs with the other person. Make an appointment for your blow-ups. Disagree. Maybe switch out blow-ups for talks. The book doesn't say make time for blow-ups, so that is a disagreement between the book and this article. Managing the conflict with blow-ups won't help. That's true. It could make matters worse. And then here's a quote: talking is the most dangerous thing people do, especially when they are stressed. Usually when people are stressed or angry, the worst comes out in them. So try to be relaxed next time you have the conversation. Something extra: if all else fails, try comedy. Smiles are contagious, and so is laughter. This is something the book doesn't cover. I think it's important. I think it's good. Every relationship, whether it be romantic or casual or whatever the case may be, laughter and comedy should be a part of it. Laughter just brings joy, and it's just a good idea. The book should add it. Conclusion: the author pretty much hit the nail on the head with conflict management in practice. Adding keywords to make the topics impact the user more, like letting go of your ego to better listen and understand. Include laughter. It may not solve the problem, but it can release tension in the situation.